Hey everyone, Anthony Fantano here, internet's busiest music nerd. Hope you're doing well. Going to be going on a bit of a rant and a ramble over here. Quickly before I get into that, I do want to shout out our sponsor in this video. Good people over at Ridge Wallets. They make these nifty metal plated wallets that will replace beautifully your disgusting old bulky leather wallet. Hit up the link down below and use promo code MELON to get 10% off your first order. So, I asked you on social media yesterday, in a short poll with a few options. I wish the options could have been more detailed, maybe provide 6 different fields or whatever, but how often do you find yourself agreeing with my reviews? I saw somebody make their own little straw poll of this, like on the Fantanoforever subreddit, which link to that down below as well. Join over there if you can. It's very fun. We got a lot of good memes. And it came out to exactly this same ratio of votes pretty much, even though it had much fewer people. I'm assuming this is an accurate display of my audience's sentiments on this question. We have essentially 31,000 votes here, and the options were, how often do you find yourself agreeing with my reviews? Never, sometimes, most of the time, and always. So always came out at 2%, which I find interesting because often there is this stereotype online of Anthony Fantano fans, they're crazy, they think everything he says is God's word, and they shove his opinions down everybody else's throats, and so on and so forth, and blah, 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 blah. And listen, every fan base of everything has a select few of individuals who are a little overboard when it comes to their passion for that thing. And hey, regardless of whether or not you fit into that category, thank you for your viewership. That, I appreciate it. But only 2%. In fact, more people voted for always, or rather less people voted for always, than never. There are more people watching me who, in their own opinion, never agree with anything that I say than there are people who always agree with what I say. And you would assume, given, I think what a lot of people who insult, not just me, but this current wave of YouTube music reviewers, you would think that the only reason people watch us is so they can copy our opinions and we can just tell them what to think and blah, 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 and this, that, and the other. So if that were in fact the case, you would have to assume that more than half the time that these people have to be agreeing with everything that we're saying, and literally all they're doing is just like watching us to essentially just have their opinions handed over to them and just be told what to think and what to listen to and so on and so forth. But in fact, we have more votes for only some of the time than we do most of the time. So if I'm asking you if you're agreeing with me most of the time, that's over 50% of the time. I have to assume that only sometimes will probably be less than that, since you did have the most of the time option. So only some of the time, and I presume this is probably the case for most of the viewers for other YouTube channels as well, who review music, only some of the time are you actually agreeing with the things that we say. So look, I've said this before in live engagements and that sort of thing. When I've been asked of this question, I've probably spoken about it numerous times online and social media if it seems to come up. Music discussion, which I think music reviewing has very much evolved into now. It's no longer this entirely this top-down thing. It's no longer this gatekeeper thing. Opinions on music and popularity of a particular artist in music is very much democratized now, thanks to social media, thanks to streaming. It's not a perfect system. You still do have sections of Spotify and Apple Music that only certain artists have access to on the front page, and if you have a certain amount of hype or attention going into your record, you're more likely to make it over there. If you're on a label, you're more likely to make it over there. There are tons of independent and obscure artists who unfortunately are never going to get that exposure, even if their music is good and they deserve it. Because of all this democratization, and because you don't have programs programmers and music reviewers and journalists essentially deciding for you what is good and what is worthwhile, because you do have different avenues to discover music on your own more freely and without the influence of traditional media if you so choose, even though it is very easy for traditional media to just kind of hand down to you what you should be listening to. And I myself don't see it as an inherent evil at this point, because I think that it allows you to just kind of keep in touch with what's popular and what's relevant, which is not necessarily a bad thing, to at least be conscious of that stuff, to know where trends are moving and what contemporary music is sounding like. The point I'm trying to make, because I keep digressing, is that with all of the options that you guys have out there as far as information and albums and voices in the music reviewing community, with all the options that you have, you are no longer in a position where I think you are most likely to take everything that I tell you as doctrine. Okay, so having said all that, if it's not about agreement, if it's not about me telling you what to think and telling you what to like, and then you automatically liking it right after, what is this whole music reviewing thing about? What is the point? The point is music appreciation and music discussion and some kind of engagement in music culture, because music culture does not stop and end at the beginning and the finish of an album. It sort of lasts beyond that. It's at the live events, it's online on forums, it's all over social media, it's in the discussion, it's in the debates, it's in the comparisons, it's in everything the fans do to show appreciation for and gain a greater appreciation of whatever it is they're passionate about. And reviewing and talking about what about the music you love so much, what makes it tick, what makes it special to you, that's a part of the experience. And I would hope that through what I do, I encourage you guys not to think what I think and agree with everything that I say, but rather figure out what it is exactly about your favorite albums, your favorite artists, your favorite songs that you like so much, what makes them special to you. I would especially hope that I encourage you guys to do that when you are conflicted and essentially handed an opinion by me that you disagree with. I say some album that you love is total crap and it's garbage and it's the worst thing I've ever heard. But you sort of flip that a little bit in your own head and think, well, wait a second, all those things that he said are awful about the album, those are things that I appreciate about it. And on top of it, I feel like he didn't bring up this element and this element and this other element. Maybe those are things that don't stick out to me, and that's why I didn't bring them up. But I would hope that through what I do, you are thinking a little bit more about what it is you love so much about the music that you like. So honestly, I just wanted to talk about that a little bit and also share these poll results and share that I am very happy and pleased with these poll results, frankly, because I'd much rather be in a position where I'm thinking of the music that I'm listening to critically, and then you guys are thinking about what I'm saying to you critically, than, you know, whatever I say to you, you just eat it up and it's spoon-fed to you and it's just blah, blah. Yes, the album you said is good, is good. Blah, blah, blah. There's nothing really gratifying to me about being in that position. For the most part, I think we're at the point that we're at as a YouTube channel, as a brand, as a community, because we're doing our best to give bold and honest and upfront opinions, but also respect one another's tastes and opinions. Because, look, at the end of the day, no matter who I've given a negative review to, I don't harbor necessarily any mean or nasty or hateful feelings toward that person. And if you like that album, if you like that artist, if that's your favorite frickin' album under the sun, that's whatever, you know, because who am I to dictate what it is that you like? Sure, I make fun of things. I like to have fun. I like to have a laugh. But look, I'm not here to bully anybody for enjoying X, Y, or Z. I'm not here intentionally trying to ruin anybody's day over their music preferences. Okay. So how often do you agree with my reviews? Tell me in the comments section exactly what that is. And over here next to my head is another video that you can check out. Hit that up or the link to subscribe to the channel. Anthony Fantano. How often do you agree? Forever.